Hi, welcome to Top of the World News. I'm your host, Jim Lynch. Please like and subscribe. Please follow me on all forms of social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and the Backstage page as well. We're still peddling the screenplay, having some success. So, hopefully, some things will turn up soon. I'm coming to find out that this is a lot like sales in that it's very much a numbers game. You have to make a certain number of presentations in order to make one sale. So that's kind of where we're at now, and I'm not discouraged. I mean, it only takes one to believe in your project. So hopefully, that'll be soon. As I said, we're having some good things. So let's not talk about that anymore. Let's get on to this week's topic. And it's something we've talked about for quite some time, and it's something that I feel very passionate about. It's something that I genuinely do believe in, and some salespeople disagree with me. But I believe that this is really the most effective way to go out and consistently make sales, no matter what other outside influences there are. And it's something, as I said, we've talked about a lot, but it's been a while since we brought this topic to the forefront, so I felt like it was time to go ahead and do that. And it's swing time, ring time. In my mind, that this is Sales 101. Now, if you are new to the show, or if you had forgotten, swing time is the amount of time you spend on a daily basis speaking to or in front of clients. And I don't mean gatekeepers. I don't mean listening for the phone to ring. I don't mean any of that. I mean actually speaking to someone, speaking to a decision maker who can make a decision on your product or service. The higher that number is on a daily basis in terms of minutes, the more sales you're going to tend to generate. And there's no salesperson on the face of the planet that can convince me different of that. It was an old term my old boss used to use, swing time. And it came from the premise that if you're not swinging the bat, you're not going to get any hits. Now, for the last, good gracious, my first sales job, I was probably 14 or 15. So you're talking 30 years time that I've been doing this, and I've worked with, trained, managed well over 500, maybe even close to 1,000 different sales associates, and I have books and tapes and subscribe to more different sales publications than I care to admit to. Looking for, I guess, a magic pill, and I've yet to find it. There's only one way to turn a good salesperson into a great salesperson, or an average salesperson to a good salesperson, and that is to get your presentation in front of a client, a potential client / decision maker, who can make a decision on your product or service. Period. So, if we're going to break this down, you need to take every possible component in your sales cycle, analyze it, discredit it, rearrange it, put it back together again. From, if you are a sales manager, hiring the right person, motivation, goal setting, make a presentation, overcoming objections, closing techniques, and so on. When I speak to you here, I'm speaking to the sales manager. I'm talking to you as if you are one of the 500 or one of 1,000. Now, if you look at a book that covers everything that's been written on this topic and lay it from end to end, you're probably going around the world at least once. Well, as I say, after doing this for 30 years, there's no magic pill to open a door at any particular time. Okay? I've been in the consulting field. I make a keynote address, step away from the left turn, say no swing time, no ring time, and that would be the end of my presentation. And then where's my check? This is simple, not easy. And as I say, it's an analogy that comes from baseball. Anybody that has watched me on a consistent basis knows that I'm a sport fan. And it's quite simple. You don't swing the bat, you're not going to get any hits. Now, knowing how to time your swing, how to position your feet, how to move your hands, how to position the rest of your body are all important in getting hit and contributing to your success. But if the bat sits on your shoulder, none of that other stuff matters. If you stood in the batter's box of a baseball game and closed your eyes and took a swing, you'd have a better chance of getting a hit than if you just stood there like this. Make sense? Now, no ring time comes from any sales organization that I've either worked for or worked with. Even if it was something that I brought to the table or that they were unfamiliar with. Whenever we, as an organization, made a sale, we would ring a bell, an actual bell. Could be a cowbell, could be a triangle like you see in the Old West. Could be any type of ringing sensation. And the rationale is louder the better, because if you as a single person can make a sale, then everybody within the office can make a sale. And you need to stand on the mountaintop and speak loud and proud of what it is that you've done. It gives the successful salesperson an opportunity to be recognized and wakes up those who may be dozing or falling behind. Now, what does all this have to do with you? And it's rather simple. And again, I've said this a couple of different ways in the last 9.5 minutes. If you're not talking to enough prospective clients, that's your swing time, then you're not going to be closing enough deals. You're not going to be ringing the bell at the end of the day or the end of the week or the end of the month. That's your ring time. Okay, well, that's all for this week. Well, I'll be back next week with a CP Life version of the Top of the World news show, which brings me to another topic that I want to discuss with the folks who are watching and the folks that give me feedback on YouTube. Over the next several months, this show is going to take on a bit of a different look. It's not going to be something that, I'll have up and running by next Tuesday, because I want to try a couple of different things and kind of see what works best. But as opposed to having a show or a vlog where I am talking and you are listening, I would like to do more of an interactive type of show, which involves guests, which involves some different things. So, make it more of a television-looking vehicle, if that makes sense. So, if I'm doing that, then the way that it is broadcast, it probably YouTube will not be the primary broadcasting vehicle that I will use to put content out. I will still post the videos and the episodes on YouTube, but those will be on demand only. So if you missed it, via its original airing, you can catch it on YouTube at some later date and at your convenience. And that being said, if you do follow me on social, you know that I've spent the last several weeks trying out giving out some motivational information via the hashtag CP Life. So that's kind of the direction that I'm looking to take the show. I want to show my life as a disabled man and show it as an inspiration, and maybe bring on other folks that share similar experiences, or how my experience can be applied to everyday life, disabled or not, and kind of go from there. So, I will still be delivering the business development content, on the every other week basis like we've been doing. But, as I said, I'm going to be doing this on a more, I think, a more relatable basis, because, not everybody that watches or listens to the show, works in sales. And I would like to, possibly open the show up to, a larger audience. But, we all have our crosses to bear, and maybe there's something that I can bring to the table who helps someone who is a postman or is a school teacher, or whatever the case may be. So that's kind of where I'm looking to go with this. There are a couple topics that I still want to touch on that are strictly in the business development arena. So I'll touch on those over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. But after that, I think I'm going to start working on presenting the show in a bit of a different format. Now, if you are a regular watcher, listener of the show on YouTube, I would like you to write back in the comment section any suggestions you may have for the show. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, include that as well. And when you write back to me asking to be a guest on the show, explain to me why you feel as though you would be a compelling guest for the show. Now, I'm not sure, on let's say a weekly basis, how long the show is going to be. I guess it would depend upon if I'm able to get guests on a consistent basis. If you have a guest on the show who's, is sharing the platform with you, then you really only have, you really get twice as much content, in theory. So, because now you're asking questions and they're responding and you're feeding off what they're giving you, and it's a little bit easier. If I'm just sitting here talking, I think that can only go so far, especially on a virtual medium. So, I'm sure you guys don't want to sit back there and just listen to me talk. So, like I said, let me know that. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are, suggestions. Let me know if you want to be a guest. If you do want to be a guest, let me know why. I'm also looking at possibly, and I think this is a likelihood, possibly changing the title of the show. So we would be looking at the last few episodes of Top of the World News. As I said, it's a likelihood. It's not definite. Maybe I change my mind back the other way. Who knows? But I am looking at, maybe a different title for the show. Keep in mind that, I want to put the show in the light of someone who is disabled and what they bring to the table as a disabled person. So, if you have a title suggestion, keep in mind that's kind of where I'm looking to go. At the end of the day, I'm a disabled person who does this, and this. I'm going to talk about those experiences. But the primary focus of the show is me living my life as a disabled person and what I bring to the table, what I contribute to society as a human being, as a man, and so on. So I know I went a little long today, but I appreciate your patience. We'll be back next week. Hope this tip puts you guys on top of the world, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a great rest of the day.